Hi, this is Alan Tutt. In this series of videos, I'm going to show you how to create your own belief entrainment recordings using the free software Audacity. Now let's go ahead and just get started. Obviously, the first thing that we need to do is install the Audacity software. So let's go online, and the easiest way that I found to get to the Audacity website is to just do a search on Audacity Audio, and this will bring up the website as the very first listing. And as you can see, the website is audacity.sourceforge.net, which is why I can never really remember it very well. So let's go ahead and just click on the download link here, because that'll take us to the right page. And as you can see on this page, there are several different versions available. There's two different version numbers, and there's different versions for each of the three major operating systems: Windows, Mac, and Linux. So depending on which version of Windows that you have, which version of the Mac OS that you have, and which version of the Audacity software you want to work with, you've got 6 choices here. Because I am using Windows 7, this is the version that I would pick. So I'm going to click that, and it's going to take me to a page where it's telling me more information about the software itself. Now there's a download link here, but all that really does is bring us down to the next section where we actually find the installer link directly. So I'm going to click that. It's going to ask me to save the file, and so I would just simply save the file. Now as you can see, I've already saved the file earlier, so there's no need for me to do it again. I'll cancel that, close that out. And if you don't know where your software is saving files, you need to find the options or the preference menu, open that up, and somewhere in there, here in Firefox, it's under the General tab. But somewhere in your options or preferences, it's going to indicate where it's saving files. Sometimes you can have the software ask you where to save files, so you can save them in different places. I have mine all go to one download directory, so that's where my files get downloaded. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to open up my Explorer. I'm going to go to the downloads directory, and there's the file that we just downloaded. So I'm going to double click that, and this will get the installer started. Let's go ahead, click that, go ahead and minimize that so we clean this up. What language do we want to install in? It could be installed in many different languages. I'm just going to click OK, English, and really just follow through the install process. Desktop icon, I don't normally do that, but let's do that this time. And okay, now we're ready to install. As you can see, it installs fairly quickly. Okay, and giving us more information. As you can see, the icon was created on our desktop. Do we want to launch? Let's say yes, click that, and finish. So it's going to go ahead and launch the Audacity software. It's looking for plugins and things that it can use. And here is the way Audacity looks when you first install it. Now later I'm going to show you some little tweaks and things that I do differently. But for right now, the first thing that I want to do is I want to go into the preference menu, which is under the edit menu. Now we go into preferences. And the reason why I want to show this to you all here on the devices screen, which is the first thing. If you have more than one microphone or sound capture device on your computer, for instance, I have an M-Audio Delta audiophile card in my computer. I also have a USB headset, which I am using right now, and there's also the audio interface on the motherboard. So I have 3 different audio capture devices available to me right here. Because I am using the headset, I'm going to choose that as my primary recording device. Playback, again, because I am using the headset, the DSP-55, I'm going to have it play audio back through the headset, make it easy for me. So this is one of the settings that you'll want to do. If you wanted to record stereo, obviously you could choose that, but since I'm only recording a microphone, or at least that's what I will be recording, mono is just fine. Some of the other things that I want to show you: import export. This is not what I'm looking for. Okay, libraries, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, if you want to export audio to MP3, you need to install an extra library, and that's because the MP3 encoding is copyright, and because of the copyright, because of the licensing restrictions, there are some limitations to what can be included in free software such as Audacity. So what we need to do here, because the MP3 library is not installed on the computer, we need to click the download link, and here it's going to open up our web browser and take us to a page where we can download the link. And right here under Windows, it's given us the information, including a link to the download page. It's giving us instructions under for Audacity for Windows. Okay. It says do not right click. You know what? I'm going to right click and open another area here. So okay, now go back to this page under for Audacity for on Windows. So let's look to see where that shows. Mac OS for Audacity on Windows. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Okay, this is the exe. This will install the MP3 libraries on our computer. So it's the same process as what we just did to install Audacity. We're just installing another piece of software to export MP3s. And here we go. It's scanning for viruses. Okay, because everything gets stored here, this is where the file is. I'm going to double click that and install this library. So just follow through the process. And yes, we accept the agreement. Basically, what this says is that the license to export to MP3 is limited, and there are certain factors that need to be taken in consideration. I suggest you actually read through all this to get all the details. But basically, if you want to export MP3s, you have to accept the agreement. But it's a good idea to know what the agreement is. So, and there it is. It's all done. So that's done. I'm going to close that out. This is done here. Basically, yeah, it's just telling us what we already did. So we've already done all that. We're good. Now we come back here, click the locate. It should already find it. If it doesn't, then you can browse it and find where this specific file is installed. But it found it, so we're good. And now the library is installed. There is another library that you can install, the FFmpeg library. This opens up a lot of other file formats that you can import and export. Basically, the process is exactly the same. In here, it gives us a link directly to the installer rather than taking us to another page. So we click this. Yes, we save the file. And it's going to save to the computer. Relatively small file, so it doesn't take a long time to download. Okay, scanning for viruses, good thing to do. And download finished. So, okay, I should have left this open. Okay, up to downloads, and one more piece of software to install. And as you can see, installing software is very easy. You just follow through the steps, accepting license agreements, I found that it's usually best to let software install where it wants to rather than to try to force it into a specific place. So that's good. Okay, I think we're all done installing software. Okay, nope, we don't need to do it manually because it found it automatically. Okay, so both of these libraries are installed, which means that we can import and export a whole bunch of different audio file formats, including the MP3. So this was probably the most important piece, other than setting your devices, that we needed to do in the preferences. So now Audacity is now installed, and we can now use it for creating our new belief entrainment recordings.